Hello everyone, Mark Fractals and Forks on Sunday, 23rd of July, 2017. It's been the last 2 weeks has been quite interesting with one-sided trades. No pullbacks whatsoever. Everybody keeps expecting them. They haven't come, but maybe this is the week we will finally see them. So let's have a quick look at the economic calendar for next week. There's nothing really on Monday. Really starts off on Tuesday with consumer confidence. Consensus is a drop to 116, so that would actually start off with even more weakening of the dollar. Then on Wednesday we got Australia CPI and speech of Lowe, the RBA new governor. This could signal the extremes that we've seen in the Aussie dollar. That positioning maybe was getting too extreme, and we get a pullback in the Aussie. Then the pound, I'm very bullish the pound. I really think that 135 is like scripted already. We'll talk about that more if we look at the charts. And then obviously the big thing this week is the FOMC rate decision and the statement. Obviously, I don't think there will be they won't raise rates, but it will be interesting to see if they're still as hawkish as they have been. So that will give us a pretty good idea if consumer confidence is already low. Then that must spill over to the members of the FOMC that they are going to be more prudent in their language. And Thursday we got unemployment claims, durable goods. Friday we got CPI from Japan and GDP from Canada and the US, which is usually a big market mover. So Canada, if you see the consensus, is month over month the same, but year over year that's a big jump. So 4.2% versus 3.3. If that materializes, then the Canadian dollar isn't done yet. So we got to keep that in mind during this week's trading. Okay, now let's look at some charts. Excuse me. And we'll start with the euro dollar. So I'm not going to go over all the pairs. I just thought I would look at euro dollar, pound dollar, Kiwi, and Aussie, and then some crosses: euro, Kiwi, pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, and Aussie Kiwi. I prefer not to involve any yen pairs for the simple reason that I think there could be some intervention from the Bank of Japan. The yen should get stronger, but they're not going to like it. So that would be all those yen pairs. I'm hesitant to get too much exposure on those, and maybe I'll change my mind on Monday afternoon. It's it's always good for a trader to change your mind on the turn of a dime, and sometimes it's not so good. But the beginning of the week usually always gives you an indication, especially Monday nights and Tuesday mornings, about how the next 2-3 days are gonna play out. So I always reserve that as a caveat. It's like change your mind if it's necessary, and if not, then stick to your guns. So monthly chart, euro dollar, we had really quite a run. We had up movement 6 months in a row. I haven't, now that I mention it, I haven't counted yet if that's going to be a record. I think we're going to have to go back now that I'm kind of quickly counting. It hasn't been the case since, that was 2002. So since then there hasn't been a 7-month up. No. Okay, that's interesting. I should have prepared better, but I'm glad I caught this. This is an interesting tidbit. Nevertheless, you know, the uptrend is strong. We're coming into some really important levels. 117, 37 I've got marked down here, but it's actually you know, 117 to 119. That's gonna be really important. And like I said, the momentum is really strong. We could just, you know, go up until everybody gives up and everybody gets long, and then we'll get to pull back. You know how it goes. Going to the weekly, and this is actually what I wanted to talk about in particular. So you all know this chart, and you know, we had peaks every 160 to 164 weeks. We were a little bit early in this cycle, and maybe we're a little bit late in this cycle. So we could still see 4 or 5 weeks up. You know, what happened here was 4 or 5, let me count, yeah, about 6 weeks down. We could still go 6 weeks up and you know, just move 400 or 500 pips, which would bring us to the 50%, 121.80. I don't think so, but, and I'll tell you why. So here's my theory. So you see this red line, which is kind of, you know, in these parallel well, it's a fork, it's the median line, but you see there's been trading around it like a very long time. Tried to break out here, went back to the median line, went below it, above it, below it, and so on. So you catch my drift, right? So this is going to be like a pivot where I think we will be trading around for the next 3-4 months. So if this, so let me quickly draw it a little bit better. If this red line, this black line here, if that would be some kind of resistance in the next week, so 118, 119, then I think we'll start trading, you know, around the median line, go below it, go above it, go below it, and so on. So that's what I'm thinking. And actually the target for this cycle would have been 129, let's call it 130. But since we're a little bit over the cycle, we could, and let me change this, I think we will reach this trend line, which has been kind of perfect for a decade. We'll reach it around the end of the year. Now, I've seen some people predicting 136. It's also possible. 136 would be around here, which is, you know, that's resistance, definitely. So, but I think that's a little bit, for this year, that's a little bit steep. That would be quite a move. And I don't see a catalyst at the moment for a strong move of another 1,000 pips up, 2,000 pips up, sorry. I don't see the catalyst yet, but maybe it'll come. Now, okay, how do we trade this? Well, obviously, if you're long from you know, from 113 or so, don't do anything. Just keep the trade. If you want to get in a long, excuse me, then it's probably not advisable to do it. And if you want to go short, well, why would you? Because the trend is strong. Yeah, it's overbought, but not really. There were instances where it went to 75 on the RSI, 20. So there's still room to the upside. And another thing is this fork, or this gradient that, you know, was trading around this median line. Now we really went to the upside. There's maybe no stopping this. Okay, so a level would be 117.75, 261.8 extension. So euro dollar is probably not something to trade, my opinion. Now let's look at something more interesting, which is the pound dollar. Like I said, 135 or 136, that level, that will be huge. Not only because of this trend line, but there's horizontal resistance from the 2009 lows. So like I said in the beginning, it really looks like it's scripted to go there, and then the decision, whether it's Brexit negotiations or a rate hike or whatever. I haven't looked yet at the calendar for the BOE, but it's September, so you know, there's ECB in September, there's probably BOE in September too, so I think we're going there. Okay, so we've got about 500 pips on the upside, and what is the downside? I would say on this monthly chart, this is a 12 simple MA. 127 is definitely you know, like a level which would invalidate the bullish scenario. As long as we're above 127, just stay bullish. Now on a weekly, and I'll try to speed it up a little bit because I've been talking the whole time, and otherwise this video will take an hour and a half. On a weekly, I really like this RSI trend line. We're moving away from it, which indicates strength. So of course there's a possibility we drop a little bit more, low 129s, but that should really cap the pullback. And so targets for this week would be like high 131s. That's what I'm thinking. Not gonna look at a daily. Well, let's look at a daily. All right. Same thing here. I like this fork. This sliding parallel from the fork that was support and resistance for a long time. We broke through it. Now we're pulling back a little bit, but I do think that we're going to accelerate to the upside in the next few days or weeks. And like I said, 132 and maybe 133. That's definitely possible. Quick look at the Aussie now. Very extended. We actually reached the target that I put in here, which were the 2004 highs here. So price will definitely price always has a memory, so this should actually, at least maybe not cap, but at least put a pause, and we're gonna need a pullback, and a pullback would be this monthly reversal level around 77.77, and that would be ideal to reinstate long positions. Now this is probably wishful thinking on a monthly chart, but I wouldn't be too surprised actually. So 77 is like 300 pips lower. Let's look at a weekly chart, and here this is also really interesting. We touched the median line, and we immediately pulled back, which is actually a bearish sign. But of course we will have to see what happens this week. If we still go higher and we break this median line, yeah, then it's all over. But like I said, I do expect a pullback, and here on the weekly it's around just 120 pips or something. Anyway, that would alleviate some strength, and that's why we'll see later why I chose those crosses. Kiwi on a monthly, up 3 months in a row. There was a 4-month in 2016 where that ended here. So 75.16, that's also a big level. Is it already going to pull back this week, or are we going to touch the 75.16 and then pull back? I cannot see why the Kiwi is so strong. I totally can't see it, but can't fight the market. If the market wants to go up, then it'll go up no matter what I think or what anybody thinks. Okay, so Kiwi, I'm more inclined to say that it's gonna pull back, and that we've seen the top. on a weekly, and why do I think we've seen a top? There's something interesting here. So if you see, you know, every red square is July. So apparently Kiwi is interested in, well, I'll just take this away, that's not really a top, but you know, 3 of the 4 last tops was in July. So I don't know, is it seasonality? Does Kiwi like tops in July? I don't know, but it's an interesting tidbit. And you know, we're coming to the end of July. Why not? So could be a top, and then we pull back maybe to the 55 MA, which is 71, low 71s. But I do think that, you know, afterwards Kiwi still has a bit more to go. The median line will be like a magnet, especially after it tried it here, pulled back, tried it, pulled back some more. Now if we go back, then, you know, pull back to the 55 and then to the median line. I don't know what this is in a wave count. You know, this could be, this is for a triangle. I don't know, you know, Elliott wave. If it's not clear, then wait, hang on. Well, actually this could be wave 5 and we should go a bit higher. Anyway, I'm looking for a pullback still in the Kiwi dollar. Now let's look at some crosses, and the cross that really interests me, and I've mentioned that on Twitter, that's the Euro Kiwi. All right. Let me adjust this a little bit. I think, and this is a monthly, and the month isn't closed yet, but I think we'll see a nice white candle, up candle, before the end of the month. And if we can close above 159.38, then that would be another higher high, and then I think we'll get 2 or 3 months up towards 174, and yeah, that's about 1800 pips anyway by the end of the year. So I think this is an opportunity. Now we'll look at the weekly. Okay, it's a bit of a mess when I don't zoom out. A few things. So this red sliding parallel, it was support here. This parallel, I'll make it red too, actually. So if this, from this low here, same gradient in a parallel from the median line, then we're right at it and we bounced off of it. And you know, last month we closed above it. So another interesting thing to see. Also this RSI signature turning up again. The trend line on the RSI, it's these are all kind of positive signs, right? So I'm very interested in longs in Euro Kiwi. Quick look at the daily. Again, I haven't really updated this, but so what are going to be on the daily interesting levels. Support should come in, 156. That should be support. If we go lower, then it's just a delay of the uptrend, but to get into positions, we really need to hold 156. All right, then the next one, pound Aussie, and I'm razor focused on this one. And especially because of this, the monthly chart. Now these are all and you know me, I'm a very strong believer in parallels, and I've been drawing them. I've been expecting a long time for the pound Aussie to go up, and then here I thought, okay, this is it, little pullback to here, the 12 MA, and then we go up again. But now we went down more than as expected, but look where, well, for now, where we bounced from is a perfect bounce off this sliding parallel. So this has potential, definitely, at least back to the 12 MA. That would still be like 300-400 pips. Let's look at a weekly chart. And here, the same thing. If something like this happens with this fork, right, and we got perfect support here, that to me is a possible indication that going forward, not only that this trend line at this moment, but it's a fork, that this could be a very important slope to follow in the future. And so if we look at, if we go below here, 162.70, then yeah, then the theory is null and void. But I like this a lot. Let me put this arrow here when I update the charts, that you can see it. This is no longer valid, and we're approaching 40, but I think we're going to turn here. Yeah, so very bullish, and also here the 55 MA, that was resistance, but I think we're going to attack it again. So we should be seeing the 55 MA over the next few days around 167, so 350 pips higher. That would be a really great trade to come into that level, take some off and let the rest ride. That would be awesome. Now pound Kiwi, not as nice. We're basically here at the lower parallel. Maybe we've broken it already a little bit, but it hasn't been really precise yet, but still very important. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times now that we tested this. It'll be very interesting to see the monthly close in you know, on the 31st, and that could get wild. Now let's look at a weekly chart. And I know some of you have been playing this and, you know, gotten gray hairs or pulled the hair out like me. This is even clearer. The fork, I didn't draw it off this spike. It didn't really match here either. So I'm kind of inclined to really like this fork, especially, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. We didn't really touch it, but we didn't go below here either. RSI, if we take, oops, my mouse is gone. If we draw a horizontal, so that was, whoops, like this. Let me make it a little bit thicker. It was resistance here, and now it's support here, and it should be support here. All right. So I'm also bullish on pound Kiwi. And always, you know, crosses, you gotta first and foremost play the chart. So don't think too much about the pound dollar and Kiwi dollar. First look at the chart, look at the individual currency pair, and don't let yourself be influenced too much about the components. But in this case, since I started with saying pound dollar very bullish and Kiwi pulling back, well, then it's obvious that my bias for you know, pound Aussie and pound Kiwi is to the upside, and the chart actually confirms it. So targets, the 61.8 extension at 68.50, so 1,000 pips upside would be nice, right? Quick look at the daily. Now this, I really like this fork too, but now it's actually not good, and I've tried to see if I could draw it a little bit differently, but everything I tried didn't really, you know, work. So this is actually the only down thing, or what I don't like, is that it went outside of the fork here. We're below 40 on RSI, so definitely tonight or on Monday, Tuesday, we should definitely see some kind of bounce back to the 200 MA at about 76.85 to really believe in the upside. Okay, then one last thing, for crosses, I like Aussie NZD. So I'm not going to show a monthly or weekly. That's and I haven't updated this yet, but these are levels that might provide an enormous opportunity for a bounce. So we're at the 200 SMA here, back to the 38 after we crossed the 61.8, back to the 38. So that would mean now we're going to the upside to the 78 or the 88.6, and ultimately I think this 100% extension 110.63 is definitely a target. On a 4 hour, you know, I showed this chart. Also very nice with the sliding parallels. We went a bit below it, but that was Friday, you know, I mean, well, maybe I do have to show weekly, because if we get a weekly reversal this week, and you see this pin bar, obviously that could be that could be bearish, but we're also very near the 55 MA, about 40 pips, 30, what is it, 35 pips away from it. That should also be support. And like I said, if we get a weekly reversal here, that would really be bullish. Okay. That was it for me for this week. Let's see how the open goes, and let's see how price moves on Monday, and then I would really like to make another video, because then we, you know, we'll have a better idea if what I'm thinking will materialize, and then we can really look at some levels and maybe step on the gas and put on some bigger positions, because 2017 is the year of the big moves and the one-sided moves that will just keep going, and I don't want to miss those. So thank you if you listened till the end here, and happy trading, and I'll see you on Twitter. Bye-bye.